Yo, what's good, man? It's been 1 month, man. 1 month since I quit my part-time 9-to-5 job and became a full-time artist officially. It's still really weird to say out loud like I'm a full-time artist. It just sounds weird, bro. But I feel good, man. I feel great. I feel really, really great. Almost like some heavy burden has been lifted from my shoulders and I'm finally on the right path. Now, how long it takes for me to be fully established, I don't know. But hey, I'm on the right path, I think. But today I want to share some, I guess you could say, some advice or some lessons, some things I've realized throughout this whole month of me becoming a full-time artist, like the things I would recommend for other people and what it's really like on the other side. I would like to share that with y'all. Before we get into all the juicy, woosy, boosy stuff, hey, please, for my sake, leave a like on this video as it helps me more than you could ever know, man. It helps me reach more like-minded people who also know ball. If you like what you're seeing here, hey, subscribe to the channel. I have more videos like this and also other videos where I'm painting and talking about anime and all kinds of stuff. So, hey, become a member of the family, man. So yeah, you can say the first thing I learned my first month of being a full-time artist, your work really does accumulate over time. Like some people say, like you probably heard people say it over and over again, like keep telling you, oh, your work will compound over time, like just keep grinding, it will show. And you work for a year or 2 years and you don't really see any results. But quitting my part-time 9-to-5 job really helped me realize how far I've come as a person and also just how much work I've already done. I've already established like a community, you could say, like a small amount of people that are willing to buy my work and that are still waiting for me to open up my commissions. My commissions are open now, but they were willing to wait for me, and that's because I've been doing content for 7 years. I've been sharing my art and making videos for 7 years, not on YouTube, but on other social media platforms for a long time. And that really shows now. It really shows that I've built a place for myself where I can share my work and people know what to expect from me. And I didn't realize that before I actually let go of my job. Because I was just so stuck in that way. I was just like, I need something to lean on. Apparently, I really don't. I also need way less money than I actually expected. That's something you will also realize once you quit your job. Like, wow, I really didn't need all that. Like, I need money, of course, to eat and to do what a normal human does, but for real, you don't need as much as you think. It's weird to say, but it's something you'll only realize once you quit your job. But back to the work, like it really has accumulated. Like my skills have improved, like my connection to my audience has improved. Just my overall habits are helping me towards keeping this ship going. Over the years where I've created content, I've developed like these habits and these ways of living that are helping me right now. Like I have an insane amount of discipline. Like I can sit down and paint for a whole day non-stop. I can sit down and edit a video a whole day non-stop. Of course I need breaks, but I can do that like easily. And that's really helping me right now. Like the fact that I don't have anyone to tell me what to do, I can just decide for myself like, yo, I'm gonna sit down and record 3 videos and I'll do it. I've become this, I wouldn't say machine because that's really inhumane to call yourself, but I've low-key become like very disciplined and nothing can really stop me, honestly, other than myself. I take breaks here and there, but that's because I want to take breaks. Like I can go all day if I want to, but I'm not doing that because I know it will only bite me in the ass later down the road. Like it's just like if you go to bed late, you know you're gonna wake up late, so it'll just mess up your day the next day. Yo, what's good, man? It's Dusty Mac from the future. I'm sitting here editing this video right now. And I just want to add, yes, I am able to work an insane amount of hours every day, all on a specific project. But one thing I left out is it's very important to kind of like plan your projects and planning your work, because otherwise, I know this from myself, I can sit and paint a whole day, but if I continue doing that the whole week, I won't get any YouTube work done or any Instagram work done or any, you know, social media work done. So it's really important to like set yourself some goals or some a schedule, you could say, where you say like, okay, today I work on YouTube only, or okay, today I work on this project only, or maybe you can even split it up and say like, that's what I do. I split it up. So I say like, okay, from I wake up till maybe like lunchtime, I'll work on YouTube. Then after lunchtime, I'll work on a painting, and then when like after dinner or something like that, I'll be back to working on YouTube, or maybe on I'll be working on some reels or some TikToks. You have to divide your work into all the segments that your image or your brand contains. So if you're like a content creator, it will probably be ideation, scripting, filming, or editing. Those could be your segments. So you would be like working on different segments throughout the day, or throughout the week, whatever floats your boat, man. That's just something real quick I wanted to add. Okay, back to you, present Mike. Wait, ain't that the name of the teacher from My Hero? So yeah, I guess I would say build up the habits of a content creator before you become a content creator. That's what I would advise people to do, because that way you can also determine, is this really something for me? If you're living like a content creator or like an artist, you can decide like, yo, is this the life I want to live, or is it not? And I think that's what I did. Like for 7 years, I've been living like an artist or a content creator. So I guess that's why it comes natural to me when I finally no longer have a 9-to-5 job and I'm on my own now. And after 1 month of being a full-time artist, I think I can proudly say I don't regret anything. Like, I'm happy I made that decision. I'm happy I'm finally living my dream, even though I'm not sustainable yet. I feel like I'm on the right path for once. I don't feel like my time is being wasted. I don't feel like I could use my time more wisely. I don't feel like, I wouldn't even say I feel pressure like that, honestly. Like, I feel vindicated, you could say. I think that's the word I'm looking for, but yeah, I'm happy. I feel like I'm ready to be happy. Nothing has really changed when I think about it. Like, my views are still low on YouTube. I'm not monetized yet. My only income stream is commissions. Nothing much has changed other than my mindset. Anyways, that's the first thing I realized. The second thing I would say is your time is way more valuable than you think. And I think this is because working a 9-to-5 job, a 9-to-5 part-time job, or a 9-to-5 full-time job, it's up to you, but it has predetermined me to base my worth, my hourly worth, on my hourly, my hourly wage. Sorry, I lost the word for it. And I think it's ingrained in us. I think we're like used to that by now. So let's say you work as a banker. You make X amount of money per hour. Let's say, for example, you're a cashier. You'll make maybe, I don't know, less than $25 an hour. I don't know how much a banker makes, but I assume it's more than $25 an hour. But what you have to realize here is, I'm talking about their take-home value, like what they take home from their hourly wage. But what you have to realize as an artist is there's a difference between your take-home value and also your produced value, like what you are producing. Let's say a banker makes, I don't know, $50 an hour. I know that's an insane hourly wage, but it's just to make this simple. The amount of work they actually produce in an hour, it's worth way more than $50 an hour. Let's say they produce $100 worth of money for the company each hour they work there. Their work itself is actually worth $100, but they only take home $50. You get me? Working a part-time 9-to-5 job, it's kind of like drilled into your head like, oh, I only earn X amount of money each hour. Like, I only earn less than $25 an hour. And that kind of bleeds into other things in your life. And that's the wrong way of thinking. I don't hope this is too convoluted. But what I'm truly trying to say here is that your time is truly worth more than you think. Because even working as a cashier, you're selling way more products for the company than what's worth $25. Let's say you're working for an hour, you're probably selling like 20 products. All those things, all those 20 things combined are worth way more than $25. Probably sold for, I don't know, $150. And all that money is not going into your pocket, it's going into the company's pocket. And that's what I'm saying, like the work you did itself is worth way more. So that's why your time as well is worth way more. It's really hard to work your head around at first, but once you get it, you truly get it. You're like, damn, I've been finessed my whole life. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's an insane realization. Yo, it's Future Dusty Mike again. Your time is worth way more than you think. way more than, for example, $20 an hour. You're probably wondering like, yo, if you want to make it as a content creator or as an artist in this world, you have to work for free. So why should I accept that if my time is worth more than $20? And you're right, sort of. Because yes, a lot of free work goes into becoming an artist. Yo, it's Future Dusty Mike again. Your time is worth way more than you think. Way more than, for example, $20 an hour. You're probably wondering like, yo, if you want to make it as a content creator or as an artist in this world, you have to work for free. So why should I accept that if my time is worth more than $20? And you're right, sort of. Because yes, a lot of free work goes into becoming an artist. You have to make a lot of you have to make a lot of paintings up front where you're not getting paid, or you have to make a lot of videos where you're not getting paid for producing the videos. So yes, a lot of free work goes into becoming an artist or just being a creative as a whole. An entrepreneur, you could say, not working a 9-to-5 job. Like a lot of free work, if you want to start your own company, a lot of free work goes into it. But I believe you don't do that free work unless you understand your time is worth more than your hourly wage. And that's because yes, you have to be able to withstand not being paid up front, all for a bigger payday later down the road. But you won't even consider that bigger payday later down the road if you don't understand, yo, my time is worth more than $20 an hour. And I know when you work a 9-to-5 job, you don't just get paid every day. Like you don't just get paid every hour you work. You also have to wait like a month before you get your paycheck. I know that. But when you realize your time is worth more, you are able to price your work at a more fair price for yourself. Because yes, I might have put, I don't know, 60 hours into this painting, but if I didn't understand my time was worth more, I would probably only charge, I don't know, $500 for it. But once you understand that, you'll start pricing your work accordingly. So you'll price your painting at like $2,000 or $5,000, all depending on how much time and effort went into that work. It's to break the cycle of low value mindset of your own work. I hope that makes sense, because yes, you have to work for free for a little bit of time, but if you break this mindset, you'll also be able to value your own work at a much better and fair price for yourself. So that's just what I wanted to add. Another thing I already knew, but kind of been like magnified or proven to be more true than ever, and that's procrastination is the enemy of productivity. Basically, it just boils down to don't think too long about what you want to do, just do it. No Nike. Hey Nike, if you're watching this video, hit your boy up for a sponsor, man, you know what I'm saying? I already paid on all your shoes, so let's figure something out, you know what I'm saying? I know, selfish plug. You can't think too long about what you want to do. Before, I actually could, when I was working my part-time 9-to-5 job, I could take all the time in the world to think about what my next project should be, but now I can't, because I have to prioritize what can actually make me some money here. I know that sounds kind of sleazy, but it's just the way it is, man. I gotta put food on the table. And I also need to think about what can kind of expand and grow my art business. Like, is this a product I am assuming I could sell in the future? Is this something that could lead to more sales? I need to take all that junk into consideration. I also need to get better at minimizing the gap between me having an idea to actually executing on that idea. I would say I'm fairly good at it right now, but you know, you can always get better. There's always room for improvement. I also need to get better at being able to tell what idea is worth my time and what idea is not worth my time. Because sometimes I'll spend 2 days on a project and be like, for example, a YouTube video, I'll be like, yo, this video is not really, not really something that other people can gain value from, or something that will be able to bring in views down the future. Sometimes I need to get better at saying like, okay, Michael, you don't need to do this project. Like, and it can be really confusing because sometimes you're highly motivated to getting started on a project. You're like, okay, I really want to do this project, and that means this project is probably good for me and my business, but sometimes it's just not. It's just not good for you or your business. It's just something you really want to do, and that's nice, but it's not something that will progress you, I guess you could say. It's not something that will cause you to grow or be profitable for you or a business. And that low-key leads me into the next topic of motivation, because sometimes you'll have a project that's very important, but you just don't feel motivated to start on it or to make it or to do it. You kind of tell yourself, okay, I'll start when I feel more motivated, but that's actually a huge mistake, because motivation doesn't just come. Motivation is something that comes to you after you start. When you begin, motivation will come. I think the thing you feel when you are quote unquote motivated to start something, it's actually inspiration. You're actually inspired to start something. Motivation only comes once you're in it, once you're in the grind, once you're in the paint. Something that's also very important that actually took me way too long to acknowledge and realize is social media is just a tool, not your boss. It's just like your paintbrushes or your paint or color palette. Social media is honestly no different, even though we make it up to be so much more than that. Like, it's where all the opportunities are, it's where you get all your clients, it's where you build your brand. But on the other hand, social media is very fleeting. One day a certain topic can be trending and the next day it's just not being talked about at all. So just because of that one fact alone, you should never see social media as your boss. It should never determine what kind of art you create, or even the worth of your art for that sake. Then you could probably ask me like, yo Mike, why are you making canvas paintings? You know, canvas paintings are more attractive for the normal person than custom shoes. It's just a fact. Like, it's just proven that canvas paintings, they get way more views on social media. So haven't you let social media decide what you create in the first place? And I would say it's both yes and a no, because what I would recommend people to do is create whatever art they want to, and then you can make videos and photos and garner those towards social media. They might not get as many likes or as many views as a normal canvas painting would, but the important thing here is that you keep being honest to yourself, you keep being true to yourself. You have to put your own interests first. I guess you could say social media is like the phrase, money is a very good servant, but a terrible boss. Because money is a tool. If you know how to use money, you can make more money, you can grow your business, you can make your life better. But if you live because of money, if you work because of money, if you do everything you do because of money, you're in for a hard time, bro. It'll lead you to feeling empty, because once you create a very good video, you will get a high buzz. But once that video doesn't get any more views and you create another video and it doesn't get as many views, you feel empty. I've been there, done that. So never see social media as your boss or what determines the worth of your art. You should do that yourself. And as I said, it's a tool, man. You need to experiment with different art forms, see what performs best for you, and then you can use that for your own advantage. You can make more canvas paintings, you can make more custom shoes, whatever performs best for you. But it shouldn't be because those things get the most views that you make those things. That should never be the case, because you will burn out that way. Also, something that I've experienced very lately is don't feel pressure from social media to post every day. Like, don't feel pressure to have a certain upload schedule. Like, trust me, it's good for growth, of course, to post as often as possible, but also take your time to make sure you have your heart in it. Because while I've been working on some other stuff, like I have a really huge order I'm working on, I haven't been posting much on social media, and I've been low-key feeling a pressure to do that. Like, I've been feeling a pressure to post every day. But the thing is, I could post every day, but it wouldn't really lead to much, both from my audience, but also for my sake, because I might be one in a million, but I just don't like posting old stuff all the time. I like posting new stuff. And the more I post old stuff, it actually makes me hate content creation a bit. Like, I'm like, oh, this is so boring. I've seen this 100 times. Like, I just want to make something new, gang. I'm not sure, but I think your audience feels the same in a certain way. I think there's something called audience burnout. Like, they get burned out from seeing your work all the time, if it's not new and improved or something different with a different angle or something like that. But what's most important is that I don't get burned out, basically. And I would get burned out if I had to post my old works every day. This has proven to be right. Like, I've waited weeks between my posts, and I've been thinking, damn, once I post again, I'll probably only get 200 views, but nah, I get more views sometimes, and sometimes I get the same views. So the amount of time in between your posts, it doesn't really matter. Like, you're gonna get the same views. So don't be afraid that people are just gonna forget you because you don't post in 2 weeks. Nothing's gonna happen. You're gonna be fine. You can even go, I think you can even go like 3 months without posting and things are gonna be good. Don't be afraid to take a couple steps back and take your time on your projects. Something also that's very confusing is what's popular is not always what's gonna sell. And I guess you could say this is half true and half false, because I believe if you have the skills to sell, you can sell what's popular. Like, of course, what popular will sell if you are good at selling. What's mostly popular for me on my social media are my canvas paintings. But funny enough, I still get more people asking me about my custom shoes than my canvas paintings. I do get some people asking me about canvas paintings and how much I charge for them. Most of the times it's actually custom shoes, which are not performing as well as my canvas paintings whenever I post them. But they are what I started out with. Like, my custom shoes are I guess you could say they are my bread and butter. My canvas paintings are a newer addition to my overall bag. What I would advise people to do is find something that's your core, that you know people are gonna come to you for. It could be canvas paintings. Honestly, that's what I would recommend people. You can sell them for more. They perform way better on social media. You can make longer videos with canvas paintings, basically. Longer process videos if you want to. In my case, I have custom shoes, I have custom services, custom jackets. I've just added canvas paintings to my bag. And this is a very underrated tip or piece of advice you could say. You have to create your own opportunities when you become a full-time artist. I'm not just talking about commissions here, I'm talking about bigger projects. If you want to expand your art business and reach new people, you have to create your own opportunities. I haven't done it myself, but I really want to get into murals one day. I really want to paint a whole wall of anime characters. But I know in my heart, I need to create that opportunity myself. I need to reach out to someone who needs a mural or somewhere you are allowed to make murals. I need to reach out, and when the time is right, I will. Until then, I can't expect people to reach out to me and be like, yo, you want to paint a mural for me? Because people don't ask for what you haven't shown. If I haven't shown any skills of me making a mural, I can't expect people to ask me for one. And that goes for other projects. Like, if you are doing canvas paintings but you want to expand into other things, you need to make other things first. You might need to experiment with those things first. You might paint your own pairs of headphones first, like just to show people, yo, I do headphones, whatever it could be. When it comes to this, not everybody's gonna ask. Sometimes you just have to ask them yourself. Like, if you have some people you've talked with some time ago, and you might need to reach out to them again and be like, yo, you're still interested in that thing? You need to create your own opportunities, especially when it comes to art markets as well. I haven't done art markets yet. I've had offers, but normally you need to create your own offer. You need to, I guess, fill out your own application for an art market. I haven't done that yet, but I would like to do that soon. When I have more products, I'll definitely participate in an art market. I don't know where, probably in a different country, since anime isn't that big in Denmark. I don't think I will be able to sell that much in Denmark, but maybe in the UK or US, I don't know. I've never been to the US. That's another talk for another time. I guess this is kind of like a controversial piece of advice, but I would say don't take advice from people who are not living the life you want. And that can sound really harsh, but hear me out, because when I first decided to quit my 9-to-5 job and become a full-time artist, people really wanted me to know their opinions. They really wanted to give me their piece of advice. They really wanted to let me know their opinion on it. And that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong in getting advice from people and getting different views on things. Like, you should always be open. And I believe most of the time it comes from a good place. They only have your best interest in mind. If they're your friends or people close to you. I realized, like, specifically elder people, like people older than me, would give me advice on what to do. They would tell me I was irrational, I was stupid, I was impatient. But the fact is, their advice were just their opinions. They weren't facts. So unless they themselves have run a art business and know what they're talking about, know what I can expect and have experienced it for themselves, unless they've done all of that, their advice will always just be their opinions and nothing more. So just because someone gives you advice because they're older and more experienced, have more life experience than you, they're not just always right. They're not just right by default. What I would always recommend is just try it out. You can take other people's advice, but the most important thing is that you try it out for yourself. You make your own opinion based on your own experience. That's the most important thing. So when people tell you to do something based on their advice, like, don't take it too close to heart. If they've lived what you want to do, then of course you can take their advice seriously. But if they haven't, hey, it's just he says, she says. Is that the correct way of saying it? I don't even know. And now my most crucial advice is basically, you will fail, bro. Like, if you want to become a full-time artist and you want to be a full-time artist, you will fail. Both on your way towards becoming a full-time artist and also as while you're being a full-time artist, you will fail. And don't get me wrong, this is not a bad thing at all. The school systems, life itself, society as it is now has taught us that failing is bad. Like, you get an F on your test, you fail. Failing is the only way to improve. And I know that after 7 years of content creation, I've gotten used to failing almost every day, whether it being a failed post or a failed project, like an artwork that didn't sell or a customer that didn't follow through. I'm used to failing, and I haven't made any major fails yet. This is just my first month as a full-time artist, but I'm pretty sure I will eventually. I'll fail in new ways. I'll probably not be able to pay rent on time, or I'll mess up a big order, or, you know, just things of that nature. If you fail, it also means you tried. And that's a good sign, because trying leads to success in the end. It's actually the only thing that leads to success. You can't succeed in something you haven't tried. I'm glad I did content for so long before I went full-time on art. Because I have realized that failures are only opportunities to grow, like nothing more, nothing less. If you fail, that just means try again, nothing more and nothing less. It's just that. So yeah, your L's can be L's, or you can turn your L's into lessons. Yeah, it's basically been 1 month since I became a full-time artist, and those were the things I've learned. Hey, let me know in the comments below what piece of advice you found as most useful. I really like to know how I was able to help you people, or if I could help you in other ways. Also, I would like to know, like, would you like to see me do another one of these in like a 6 months later type of thing? Let me know all of that. It's been your boy Dusty Mike, man. Thank you so much for watching. I'll let you get on with your day. As always, much love. Peace.